Okay, so for this demo, I'm going to show you guys how to place an image into the background of your Rhino file so that we can start to trace this to produce what I'm calling a Meta Mosaic. And then we're going to take that geometry, import that into Illustrator to create a line diagram and a color scheme and fill that with some color. Okay, so basically what I have here, you can see I already have an image loaded up here. In order to place a background bitmap, it's really easy. You just, whatever viewport you want to place that into, you right click on the viewport title. And if we scroll down here, you can see the title here, background bitmap. You can go ahead and click place, and that'll enable you to select one, and it'll try and maintain the image format as you guys go through it. So I'm going to go ahead and just hide that. And you can cycle that on and off, obviously, by right-clicking on this. We can hide and show that. We can place a new one. I already have one in here that I've clearly been working with, so I'm going to leave that alone. So I hit show. And so that links to a place in your guys' hard drive, and you can see up here where this is going. So just scroll back down to our command line so we can see what we're doing. All right, and so then now that the image is placed, we can start to go through and zoom in. As we can see the image here, I have turned off all my snaps. And for this particular exercise, I'm going to start by tracing this geometry. So I can then just come in here and start to trace this geometry very, very easily. This is handy when you guys need to trace a pattern or something you guys need to take to laser cutting. So this can make this really, really easy, and you can take digital information and turn that into vector information, obviously, because Rhino is a vector, creating vector information out of that. So I'm just going to go through and quickly come in here, and I'm going to create a couple of really quick geometries, so I don't think you guys need to go through all the line tools. But essentially what I'm doing is I'm just going in here, right-clicking to repeat my command, and then I'm just doing a couple of quick traces here, and then I'm okay, and so then we can select these geometries, and as we want to, we can go ahead and take a look at what I'm looking at here. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to hide this. Okay, so we can see that I've been tracing this in here. Now I've gone ahead and done a little bit of work over here. I have 3 layers where I'm working in what I'm calling primarily is going to be the white color. Primarily is going to be a medium gray, and then the default is going to be a darker gray at this point. So if I come in here, you can see what I've been tracing. I'll show that. Right, and so this is an image of a piece of one of my sculptures. So, but I've gone in here and I'm starting to break down, understanding where the sort of information is lying, and I'm starting to analyze how I can start to break up these geometries in terms of their areas of color. All right, so at this point, what we can do is we can take this and we can go ahead and export it to Illustrator, assuming they're all ready. So I'm just going to go ahead and export the curves. And I'm just going to call this Meta Mosaic. It's going to ask us about scale since we're in a paraline view. And go ahead and do that. And then I'm just going to pull this down and hop into Illustrator. I'm going to open this up. We'll open up the file. We zoom out here. We can do Control A and Control X and Control V to paste this into our working screen here. And we can start to edit this. So as we start to look at this, we can do a couple of things. One of the tools in here, that because I worked in layers, I'm just going to move this because these things don't necessarily need to work. The white has maintained its color as we brought it into Illustrator. So there's a couple things we can do. I obviously want this to ultimately end up as a bunch of fills. I can't see all my white, but I know that there's some there, and you can see that from the selection tool that this activated down here. So if I want to select all of the white so I can start to manipulate that, I just come down here and select Same, Stroke Color. And now that's selected all of the white in the scene. So I can go ahead and invert that, and then with just that little swapping. And then I'm just double clicking on the fill, and I'm going to make this actually a light gray so I can see it. Okay. Then what I also want to do is if I deselect that, you can see I lost a lot of my time I spent sort of dividing up the geometry. So I want to obviously get that back. So I just select Same Fill Color since I've changed the fill and not the stroke. I'm going to double click on this, and I'm going to give this medium gray. That looks like a nice round number. All right, and so we can start to do that. And then you can go through, and if you're clever about this, you can start to set up your geometries intelligently as you go through the while you're working in Rhino. Otherwise, you can work in Illustrator. It's up to your preference here. We'll just do this and go ahead and invert that. Invert this, and then, like I said, we can go ahead and start to adjust the grays in here as we want to here. And then if you need to change the order, say I have like some of these details I have sitting on top of other information. So if I select that, I don't want that to be in back, so I can arrange and send it backward, or I can, in most cases, you're just going to want to send it to the back. And then I can get these guys in here, grab them, and just sort of lighten them up so you can actually see where those rivets were. Same with these guys. Just double click. And so then a little bit of this is ending up being a lot of massaging. And again, we've lost a lot of our line work. So we can come in here and just go select same stroke color. We can go ahead and you can actually type in values. So this will match everything that we've been doing. And you can start to see how we can start to build these diagrams intelligently. And so then we can start to come back and if we go back into Rhino here, we can start to see how this information is in here. It's starting to be a little bit more representative of the diagram of what's going on in the actual piece. All right, and then out of that, we can start to just basically take this and we can either PDF it or we can take and actually produce an image by file export. That gives us all of our image settings, so we can go ahead and produce a JPEG out of that or a PNG if we're going to be taking this to the web. All right, that's it.